Well, howdy again, folks. Rick from the Boondocking Bear with my little sidekick, Little Bear here. And this is just a quick intro to my RV hobby. I promised that I would do a quick video on building a Civil War diorama. So that's what's coming up right now. So that's what it is, folks. That's a finished Civil War diorama, and I'm going to show you real quick how I made it. It was a lot of fun. Okay, this first diorama, unlike future ones, is of no particular Civil War scene or event. Rather, for a first go, I wanted to keep it simple and small and incorporate as many terrain features as I could to practice and get the feel for making them. So this one includes a small mountain, a stream, a country road, some trees of different types, a rolling meadow, a split rail fence, and a small bridge made from craft woods. Now, there are a lot of little mistakes in it, but other than messing up the proportional size of the mountain, it turned out pretty well. For the base, I simply bought a dollar store 8x10-inch wooden frame and then penciled on the rough outline of where everything would go. Then, using 1-inch blue insulation foam from Lowe's, I stacked and glued together 3 pieces to get the mountain, then carved it into the rough shape I wanted. It was kind of messy doing it, but creative in a manly sort of way. Next up was painting the mountain, and for that I did some testing on scrap pieces, playing around with the colors and the accenting, and then weathering it to get a realistic look. Anyway, then I spread some common household wall repair plaster over the piece, getting a base for the other elements. It's the pink in the picture when wet and then dries white. Once that was dry, I went in with another layer and fine-tuned the terrain topography even further. Once that dried, I realized the stream was too high, so simply carved away the plaster, giving the stream some natural banks. With the stream then defined, I had some fun gluing and carving a little bridge to span it, staining and weathering it to its final color. After making sure the soldiers fit, I applied a tan base coat color to the terrain that mostly gets covered later on, but looks like soil anywhere it might show through. Then, out of some 1/8-inch craft sticks from Walmart, I made a split rail fence, stained it and weathered it, and then loose fitted it onto the diorama to make sure it looked right. Making that was actually kind of fun. It took klutzy me several hours to make, but in the end, I had no sunburn or sore muscles like the last time I built a split rail fence. After fitting the fence, I placed some green clump foliage around to get a sense of how it would look. Now, you can buy the pre-made clump foliage, but I chose to make it out of kitchen sponges, then dyed it to various colors, and after investing about $2, I now have more clump foliage than I could use in a lifetime. Then it was time to make the roadway, and for this I went over to Lowe's again and had their staff shaking their head after asking for sawdust from their cutting saw, which they provided by the bag load for free. After filtering it through some kitchen strainers, I had oodles of coarse, medium, and fine sawdust for various applications, and after some paint and gluing tests, had the road glued and painted into place. Next up, I painted the creek bed a dark green and added some small rocks to break it up. Now, believe it or not, those little stones are actually bits of clean cat litter. Now, unfortunately, I forgot to photograph the resin application, but you can see in the final pictures the creek actually looks like water. Next up, I wanted to try making some trees, and for this I used simple floral wire. Once shaped, I applied several coats of mold builder to hide the wire strands and make ready for painting. By then dry brushing some cream and gray onto the base coat of brown, the trunk and branches look very much like bark. Then, spraying on some glue and dipping in fine clump foliage, presto, we have trees. The next step was applying grass with a static grass applicator to make it stand up, and that was actually fun. I probably overdid the grass coverage a bit, but that's pure hindsight. So now on to the soldiers. I kept it simple using just Union soldiers because painting miniatures is a whole new experience. And now I'm pleased how they turned out, but holy eye strain. Lots of breaks doing this just to rest the eyes, and that was using a magnifier. The little buggers are only about an inch tall, so some of the detail is very fine. But again, with the help of some 2-liter Coke bottle caps and putty to secure the figures to, handling them was pretty easy. Now, I deliberately made the uniform somewhat dirty to represent the reality of the day. And once that was done, gluing them in place, and voila, an American Civil War diorama. A final spray of hairspray over the whole piece to seal everything in, and it was all done. So there you go. Any questions, please ask in the comments below, and as always, smile, have fun, be charitable, and thanks for watching. Talk to you again soon.